So
yeah,
it's a lot more. I was going to say collaborative. Sometimes people certainly do just sort of come up with an idea and say, hey, let's do this. But a lot of it also does come out of like riffing on stuff and just kind of chatting about whatever, and then people kind of stop for a second and say, hey, that might actually be a valid direction to pursue.
how much do you look at community and audience feedback with that kind of stuff? Because you guys have a really incredible community. Like every time I ever talk to anyone who works at Giant Bomb or is even Giant Bomb adjacent, like a Dave Lang or anything like that, like those are the biggest episodes because people really care. They really want to hear from you guys. So when this first episode of Kingdom Heartache, do you look a lot at those comments and change it all how you approach it moving forward, or is it maybe more valuable at this point that you have to kind of turn the blinders on to a certain extent and do things the way that you want to do it, the way it happens organically?
I think it's some of both equally. I mean, you certainly take all feedback into account. Some of it is definitely more constructive than others, but it's certainly valuable to see what people like, and from both an anecdotal perspective, just what people are posting on the content, but also in terms of the numbers, because frequently the traffic numbers, the metrics tell a different story than, or maybe a complementary story to what's being posted in the comments underneath.
Yeah.
I was actually just scrolling through for Slack. Our business guy posted kind of a little inspirational image in our Slack recently that's labeled the 1% rule.
Okay.
That basically says of a given audience for something, that 90% of the audience is purely in a consumer role, and of the remaining 10%, only 9%. Sorry, I'm looking over this. 9% may comment on or share or upvote stuff, but the kind of the most vocal portion of your audience is like 1% roughly. I mean, obviously that's kind of pretty fuzzy math, but like, there's a very vocal minority on the internet with stuff like this, and I think it can whatever. I mean, this is very classic. A very classic problem with situations like this, but it could be very easy for a vocal minority to kind of take an outsized role in coloring what you think the response is. It can be really hard to look at people who are very loudly saying something and not feel like those are, that's representative of everybody that's watching your stuff, if that makes sense.
It makes total sense. And I assume it has to be weird for you. I would assume early on at Giant Bomb, maybe back in like 2009 or something like that, when you started appearing on Quick Looks, and then later on when you were on camera more, when you read those comments, I remember just GameSpot stuff, when people are critiquing my writing or anything like that, no matter how thick of a skin you have, reading some of those first comments, they can get to you. Like, they can kind of like, this bothers me. For you, I mean, for the first time early on, you were on camera and stuff at GameSpot, but you were in a much more prominent role at Giant Bomb. You were doing, video reviews, you were reading off scripts, and then later on you were just kind of being yourself on the couch. Did it take you a while to not just feel comfortable in front of the camera, but to feel comfortable reading responses to how maybe you were delivering a line or like just making a joke or anything like that? Like, did it take a while to be able to just feel comfortable being on these videos?
That process is ongoing, and I don't ever see it ending. I say that somewhat flippantly, but it's also completely sincere. I mean, certain personality types are much more well adapted to this type of position than others, and I don't necessarily have one that's especially compatible with it. I mean, there's, to a certain extent, you kind of just have to get on with it and tell yourself, okay, if you can't handle negative comments or feedback, you just look at it. That's kind of what it ends up being a lot of the time. We're in the fortunate position that at least 98% of the stuff we do, excepting stuff like a PAX panel or the very rare occasion where we have some kind of live group of people in front of us, like we are generally on a couch in a room by ourselves, so there might be cameras there, and you might, if you were to look at the live stream, know that, there's X thousand people watching this. Like, it's easy